deepest, bluest. My hat is like a shark's fin. I couldn't have sounded more white trying to recite an LL Cool J lyric. I'm John Retlin with a retro review of Deep Blue Sea, a 3-disc Samuel L. Jackson collection. I actually highly recommend you guys get this, if nothing more for the first two movies. But come on, it's Snakes on a Plane. Long Kiss Goodnight is also pretty good. And Deep Blue Sea comes to us from the director of Die Hard 2, Electric Boogaloo, Cliffhanger, and Cutthroat Island. Oh dear, that movie was pretty goddamn rotten. It was fun, but it was also rotten. It wasn't as bad as Waterworld, but bloody fucking rotten. This is about sharks that get smart because there's genetic engineering going on to try and cure Alzheimer's. And instead of doing the smart thing and not going against, rewriting genetic code and increasing brain mass with gene therapy, let's just do all that stuff and turn the world's best killing machine and give it a will and basically give it a purpose and, make it really smart so it can hunt, and destroy and kill the humans that are in this underwater facility. Now, this movie is by no means smart. It's by no means, great. It's by no means even good, but it is a whole lot of fun. And that's really all you can ask from a movie that's about very smart sharks. Now, you got Thomas Jane in it. He would later go on to be in The Punisher and, various other movies. You can take a look at his filmography. Saffron Burrows, who would also be in Wing Commander this same year. Have you seen the Wing Commander movie? I'm sorry if you have. Would you like me to review that shitfest? If so, answers in the comments, please. So, Samuel L. Jackson is also in it. He's an investor. He, is funding this whole expedition to try and cure Alzheimer's, but he's not necessarily happy that in the very opening scene, there is one of the sharks that escaped. It almost ate some, boat goers. I was going to say beach goers, but that would have been wrong because they were on the water. And you have Thomas Jane, who's a shark wrangler, who basically captures the shark, gets it just before it eats the people, even though it destroys their boat. I'm not necessarily certain how they kept that quiet, but anyway, next scene, you get Samuel L. Jackson basically saying, I don't like the fact that, I'm probably going to tank at the stock market because what I'm funding seems to have some holes in it. And, like any genetic experiments, like anything you might do on the goddamn water with killing machines like sharks, things may, go awry. You also have LL Cool J as Preacher. He shows up a little bit later as the cook and also a religious guy. As far as characters go, it's not exactly, more than one-dimensional, but LL Cool J makes it work. Also, this was a year after he was in Halloween H2O, which I actually really enjoyed him in. And Halloween H2O, which, as funny as that would have been to have Michael Myers underwater, that is not what they did. I want to see that remake, and I want to see that happen. It would just be hilarious. Put $5 million into it, or have the Asylum do it. I mean, honestly, could they really do any worse than Halloween Resurrection? Moving on. Also, Michael Rappaport was the comic relief, kinda. I mean, Michael Rappaport's hit and miss in movies. He actually wasn't that bad here. And Stellan Skarsgård is a man that, at one point, Samuel L. Jackson points out, was pissing into the wind. How brilliant can he be? But this facility is run by a whole bunch of people, but the entire crew, like 80% of the crew, goes away for the weekend, and it's just the cast here and a couple other people. And, well, things seem to be going fine. They test this shark's brain, they capture it, they test it, and everything's going good. And then Stellan Skarsgård gets his arm bitten off. He's almost like the Sean Bean of these type of movies, and he gets he starts to bleed out. They go to rescue him, but there's this bad storm happening, and there's this helicopter flying almost into the goddamn waves. The special effects are a little bit silly, but they rescue him, seemingly, but then the cable gets stuck because metal and water doesn't exactly mix, and then he gets dropped into the water. But these smart sharks wouldn't possibly think of taking a guy on a stretcher, throwing him into some glass, and breaking the glass to try and get to the people inside. Except that's exactly what they do, because they're genetically enhanced sharks. Great idea there, doctor. Great idea, Saffron Burrows. Wonderful to make, to try and cure Alzheimer's and create even better killing machines. So from there, you have characters basically being picked off, characters having some good dialogue and stuff like that, and, sharing, oh, I want to get off this, I want to get out of this underwater facility, but oh no, shit, I'm all upset, and I really don't want to move, but oh, I'm going to be against you because, doctor, it's your fault that this happened with the sharks. And then other people are upset because their loved ones and the people they care about are getting killed off. Also, with LL Cool J's character, he has a parrot that he, has some comic relief with that likes to swear a whole lot and gets eaten at one point. and then he gets trapped in his own oven and chops his way out of an oven with an axe, and then gets away from the shark and then burns it. Somehow not burning himself when the gas is going, but whatever, physics. It's also, it's also kind of bad to even wonder about logic with this when it's about genetically enhanced sharks. Sharks are actually pretty smart as it is, but the movie doesn't really require a whole lot of thought. It's a lot of flowery talk for just 3 killing machines. Eventually, the sharks do get dispatched here and there, and then they're just down to the 1, which was actually kind of funny. They're down to the 3 people: Saffron Burrows, Thomas Jane, and LL Cool J, because everybody else gets killed. They manage to get to the surface as the facility's basically crumbling. And then Preacher gets attacked, and he has a cross because he's a religious guy, and he's stabbing the shark in the eye and everything. They get this, they get all this gunpowder from these flares into this one, shot that's going to be like 2.5 sticks of dynamite to blow this shark up. Because if that shark gets out into the open, it's basically going to do a whole bunch of killing. And who knows, maybe mate and create other smart sharks. Who the fuck knows? They didn't really put a lot of thought into that, but we can't let the shark escape. So it eventually tries to escape. Saffron Burrows sacrifices herself using jelly that's in her goddamn hand. It was actually fucking hilarious how red and, sticky that blood was. And I'm not even talking corn syrup. It literally looks like fucking jelly came out of her hands. As far as movies go, there wasn't a whole lot of thought put into how these things look. But also 1999, you work with what you have. And she basically dies. Thomas Jane ends up almost dying, but he manages just to get away just in time as Preacher helps blow the creature up. And that's it. That is the end. We don't get any more smart sharks out in the world until we get to 2018 with the second one, and then 2020 with the third one. I may review both of those at some point, but I felt the need to talk about the good one because I cannot imagine after 19 years and 21 years respectively that any of those are very good. But that being said, I really did enjoy this movie. It's funny. I still don't get the frickin', deepest blues. My hat is like a shark's fin line from LL Cool J. But hey, LL Cool J at this point was transitioning from being just a rapper to being an actor. And he got to include, it was fine. It was fine. It was when rap was starting to really go weird, but I liked some of it. But I thought LL Cool J, Mama Said Knock You Out, and some of his stuff was actually pretty good. But this movie is silly. It is ridiculous. It's about smart sharks, and it's about dumb people, and a couple people survive. It's a typical monster movie, but it is overall fun. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. And by the way, I will give it a B. I'll say B for fun. Not great, but a B for the enjoyment. Anyway, agree, disagree what I said, like, share, subscribe. Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.